Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you the Lixada titanium frying pan. Alright everybody, welcome back. I want to show you this today. This is something kind of cool that I've come across. It's a larger frying pan, completely made of titanium. And the handles here are stainless steel. It's made by Lixada. You're probably familiar with their stoves. They make those little isobutane stoves for like 11, 12 bucks. Really good quality stuff so far. I've had no problems with Lixada stuff. I have one of their wood stoves. It's all been pretty good. So when I saw this, I thought, wow, that is an awesome price for something that's usually normally pretty expensive. These run $21.99, and I will put a link down below where you can get it. And the reason I picked it up is because, let's face it, these little pans that come with the cook kits. This is a titanium. This is from my Snow Peak cook kit from my one of my bug out bags. Kind of small, in comparison. You can see that's good for one person. But if you're with more than one person, if you're cooking something a little bit bigger, if you're mixing stuff up, like if I cook up some sausage and rice in this thing, that's awfully tiny. Stuff's going to be spilling over the side. So I figured I want to try out having a little bit of a bigger one as well. The weight is negligible. It's like nothing. I mean, it's 2.9 ounces. So, I mean, it's really, really nothing. It's not something that's going to weigh you down. The capacity is 1,000 milliliters. It's about 4 cups. It is 7.9 by 1.4 thick. And like I said, the weight is like 2.9 ounces. So you could use this for your bug out bags, your get home gear, your car kits, camping, hiking, and backpacking. It's not geared towards, mountain house type stuff, freeze-dry type stuff. This is more for, I'm going to cook up dinner and I brought some sausage, some hamburger, whatever, and I need a pan to cook it in. Whereas this is kind of small, and maybe you'd use this to reheat some soup or something, but it's a little bit smaller. You can see the size difference between the two, You can get a lot more surface area in here. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you a little trick that I have. If you've noticed lately, a lot of foods in the stores have been coming out in these little microwave-only containers. And this is a perfect example. We're going to be making some pancakes today. These are Kodiak cakes. These things are awesome. They're non-GMO. They're really, really good. Very, very light. Good for backpacking or hiking or whatever. I don't know the shelf life on them. Let's see what it says here. Best if used by March 2020. So you got about a year on them. I think if it remains sealed, I think you'd probably have longer than that. But anyway, the problem with these is these are microwave only. So you kind of get stuck when you're trying to cook these out in the open. So what I do generally is I'll open them up, I'll add water to the fill line, mix them up inside of here, use this as a mixing vessel, and then dump it into here and make the pancakes. So I'm going to get set up, and we're going to test this pan out, and I'm going to show you how that works. And we're going to do like a review and a survival tip all in one video. It's going to be a sec to get set up, and I'll see you. Alright, so we're all set up out front here. This says to add a 1/4 cup. Generally what I do is I add it till I get the consistency that I like for pancakes. And I'm just making one, so let's add a little bit of water there. Mix it up. I'm going to get to test everything today. Jeez, I got my Gerber kit out here, my complete. Alright. So with this, you just kind of mix it up like that. You got to get everything, because, oops, it comes out of the sides if you mix too hard there, as you can tell. But you got to get everything, because a lot of the stuff is buried underneath here. And this is how I generally will do this. I'll just scoop the sides out. This really is made for microwave, but you can improvise and get a good, decent pancake out of it. That's a little thick because of the stuff I mixed in on the bottom. So I might add a touch more water just so it pours out of this evenly. Actually, it looks like that's pouring pretty well. Yeah, you know what? That'll be good. So what we're going to do with this, wipe that up, is make ourselves some pancakes, or a pancake. Take a little butter, toss it in the pan, and fire up this. I get my lighter. This does have a piezo ignition. It's just weird reach over there, so I'm just going to use my lighter. Alright. The reason I'm using this stove in particular is because it can go so low. I'm sure you can't see that on the screen there, but it can simmer at a very, very low rate. And it's also wide enough for a bigger surface. So remember that if you're going to be using this type of pan, you definitely want a bigger, wider surface on your stove. If I were to put something on the little tiny, one of those little tiny BRS stoves, that'd be awfully hard to balance it on there. So you really want something like this that's going to be a little bit wider base. I'm going to put a little more butter in there. A little bit more. Just to kind of moisten the bottom. One of the nice things about titanium is that it cooks evenly. Some of the stainless steel kits I've gotten, I found they have hot spots on them. Even where the fire isn't, they'll kind of cook hotter over here or over there. With the titanium, it's pretty even. And as you can tell, everywhere is kind of smoking there. So we're going to just pour this in. Get it on there. Yeah, I tell you to use a bigger base because I want it to fit on there, and then it doesn't fit on there. All right. Now the smoke you're seeing come up is just from the butter. I just use a little butter for this. You could use anything, olive oil, any kind of oil while you're out in the field. Generally, I have something packed up like that if I'm cooking like this in the field. Okay. Now we even get to use the spatula. So I'm going to give this a few minutes. That's what's going on. It's falling off the base. I'm going to give this a few minutes, and I'm going to bring you back when it's time to flip it. And we're going to see A, how well the pan cooks, and B, how well this Gerber little spatula works. So I think I had the flame a little too centered in the middle there, but this spatula's working awesome. Yeah, see, I got a little bit of burn there. That's okay. I'll eat that one. I actually like burnt stuff. Like when people burn toast, I'm like, oh, cool, I'll take that. So we're going to give this a few more minutes on really, really, really low. Had it a little too high, probably from the preheat. But anyway, you see the pan works great, and it doesn't stick. That's nice. Even with the butter, it still didn't stick. I've had pans, especially stainless steel pans, stick like crazy, even with butter. So, seem to be doing quite well here. Oh, our bonus. I think I'm just going to turn that off and let the heat cook the other side. And we'll bring you back when it's done, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's finally cooked. And we'll check out the pan and see how it held up. Alright, so we're back. I let the other side just cook from the residual heat that was in the pan. Looks okay to me. I mean, it's not perfectly brown, but hey, you know what? This is supposed to be cooked in the microwave. The other side did get a little burned, and that's probably because I had it too high with just the butter in the pan. But no big deal there. Something I did notice about the Gerber spatula and the Complete, I don't know if you can see the end there, but it did kind of melt a little. I didn't expect that. It worked very, very well, but it did melt there on the edge a little tiny bit. Not the end of the world, not a big deal, but it's good to know if you're going to be flipping stuff that's kind of in a hot pan or something like that. The rest of it held up perfectly, no issues. So I'm going to take this out, and we're going to see how we like it, and we're going to clean up that pan and see how well it cleans up with just a rag and some water. So the pancake's awesome. The pancake came out great. You can taste a little bit of the burn on the back, but that's my fault. But still came out very, very good. What I'm going to do here is I got a wet rag. This just has some water on it. And we're going to wipe this out like we're on the trail. We're not going to scrub it. We're not going to get into any kind of deep cleaning. And get all the junk out of there first. And then I'm going to take a dry rag, a dry towel, and just kind of wipe it out. And you can see where it was burned. So if you're on the trail, okay, and that's just how you're cooking, you're cleaning it up, that's fine. Now I'm going to take it inside the kitchen and take a scrubby to it, really, really light, nothing heavy, just some soap and scrub. And we're going to see if that comes out. But all in all, I'm pretty pleased with it. It does get very hot, and that's something I needed to remember. The center of it got very hot, even though I had this very, very low. But definitely does the job. It definitely worked for cooking a meal in it. So let me take this inside to my kitchen, give it a little scrub out, and we'll see if it comes out like new. Alright, so I'm just back from the kitchen there. I used a scrub brush and some soap. Came out pretty clean. I did scrub the area where I had the burn mark on it, but it mostly came out. And I mean, nobody's going to keep these things immaculate. These are for use. I mean, but cleans up fairly easy. Held up nicely to the test there. It's very, very light. Sides do fold down for storage. So I definitely think I like this. I'm going to be using this in one of my kits. Just makes it easier to actually cook a meal that's not from a can or not a frozen meal. Like if I wanted to throw some sausages in here and some scrambled eggs, that would work. That would work very, very well. So anyway, that's the Lixada titanium frying pan. And as I said, they run about $21.99, which is actually a pretty good price for titanium these days. They are all titanium and the handles are stainless steel. That's the construction. And I will put a link down below in the description so you can check them out. They'll be right down there. Also, they will be in my store. If you want to check out my store, my Amazon store, I pretty much put everything in there that I review that I can, that actually has an Amazon link. So you can check that out there. If you don't want to buy anything in the store, just click the link and shop on Amazon as you normally would. Doesn't cost you a penny extra, and it really helps out the channel a whole lot, and we really do appreciate those that have been doing it. And don't forget to check out my Thrive Life link down below. If you're looking to get started in some freeze-dried food, Thrive Life is the way to go. It's real simple. There's nothing to join. You can just go on there and purchase some food. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.